know why they're truly here, man. They're here like, oh, I've seen a movie he's done or some of the podcasts, but that's not it. You gravitate towards something I do that makes you go like, fuck, I'd like to do that. Not necessarily this exact thing, but like, I don't know, he seems to have a good time sitting around talking to his fucking friends, and that's like, doesn't take talent and shit. Like, why don't we do that? And blah, blah, blah. I get it. I used to go to George Carlin shows all the time because I was a massive fucking George Carlin fan, man. George Carlin was the guy that my father gave me Carlin albums when I was a kid. Like, I wasn't supposed to listen to albums with curses on them and stuff. Nobody in our house cursed. My mother didn't curse. She wouldn't even say hell. She would say H-E double hockey sticks and shit like that. So people didn't curse. My dad didn't curse or anything. One day my dad gave me an album. He gave me a fucking, well, he used to give me albums all the time, Bill Cosby albums, comedy albums. And my mom was like, he can listen to these because Bill Cosby is clean and doesn't curse. And years later I was like, yeah, but you wouldn't want to be alone with him, would you, Mom? George Carlin, my dad brought me his George Carlin, first George Carlin album. He said, listen to this, but don't let your mother hear it, you know, and I was like, okay, and I went and listened to it with the volume down and discovered this whole new world. And this guy was filthy, but he's brilliant. Like, he absolutely fucking smart. Things he said were wise, not just funny, but wise. But he was also funny as fucking cursed his full head off and shit. And suddenly me and my dad had something to bond over, man. Like, oh shit, we had this Carlin thing. And one day my dad was like, George Carlin's gonna be on HBO telling jokes for an hour. It was a Carlin and Carnegie special. We didn't even have the terminology for what it was called because HBO was so new. It was like funny man, TV long and shit like that. And so I said, can we watch it? And he said, yeah, me, you, and Mom, we're gonna watch it when it's on Saturday night. And my mom was like, oh, I don't know, Don. I don't know if he should be watching it because he's young and George Carlin, doesn't he curse sometimes? And my dad goes, oh, Grace, don't worry, George Carlin is Catholic. So we watch Carlin and Carnegie together. My dad's sitting on the couch, my mom's sitting in the chair, you know, the chair you pull the arm and the feet go up and shit. And they have snack trays in front of them. They have TV dinners on, or eating TV drinks. My mom was a big, brilliant TV dinner cook. You just have to eat that shit up. So my dad was sitting there with a snack tray eating his TV dinner. Mom's in the chair eating her TV dinner and a snack tray. I was laying on the floor on my belly, watching the TV. I was almost done with my dinner. I ate much faster than them. And the show's about to start, and it begins. George Carlin, the first joke he tells in the show, he comes out on stage, he says, have you ever noticed that people who are against abortion are people you wouldn't want to fuck in the first place? And everybody fucking laughs and shit like that. Now my old man was like, ha ha ha, he was laughing. My mother was like, oh, that's not funny at all. I don't want him hearing this. And my dad was like, oh, why? And she was like, it's gonna make him ask all sorts of questions. And he was like, no, it's not. And I turned to my father and go, Dad, what's abortion? And Mom walked out of the room very frustrated. And I was like, should we stop watching? And my father was like, no, let's keep watching. And we watched it. We sat there watching it together. And I watched his reaction to a guy who was cursing his full head off in our very house and stuff. But my father respected him. He was nodding and agreeing with the guy on the television, going, yeah, shit like that. And acting in a way I've never seen him act and stuff. It really made an impression. I was like, Jesus, man, you can get away with cursing as long as you're smart. As long as you have a large vocabulary, they'll let you curse when you grow up. This is good to know and shit. So I fell in love with that guy. I was a big fan of his work, and I followed him all throughout his career. When I was a kid, I'd go see live shows and stuff. Once saw him at a show where it was like From You to Me. You could have thrown a fucking tissue at him, it was so close. And then years later, I became a filmmaker and stuff, and we got around to Dogma. And you know, I was like, oh my God, let's reach out to George Carlin to play Cardinal Glick. That'd be fucking amazing, man. So I found his manager's number, Jerry, his name was, called him up. Say, hey man, I'm Kevin Smith, I made these movies. We're about to make this movie Dogma with Ben and Matt in it and stuff. I want George to come play a cardinal in this movie. And Jerry was like, oh, he'd love that. Let me talk to him about it. And he's going, hey, I see that you're gonna be coming on the Conan O'Brien show in about 2-3 weeks. I said, yeah. He's going, George is gonna be on that same night as you. So why don't you bring a copy of the script? You could meet him, give him the script. I said, yeah, all right, let's do that. I hung up. Between that phone call and the time that I was on the show, George's wife passed away. She lost a battle with cancer and died. So when he was on the show that night, he was in a real fucking bad way and stuff. He still showed up and still did a bit, but his heart wasn't there. So I didn't want to bug him, and clearly he was going through something horrible. So, you know, Jerry was like, do you want to meet him? I was like, you know, honestly, like right now, he's probably not a great time. I said, but you can give him the script when he's got a free chance and stuff like that. I know he's dealing with real things right now, but if he ever gets a chance, like, slip him the script. I got a call 2 days later from Jerry. He goes, George wants to meet with you. I said, really? He goes, yeah, he read your script. He wants to meet with you at the Four Seasons Hotel in Los Angeles for lunch. I said, okay. And I'm late for everything, as you saw this evening. And I was a half an hour early for that. The only thing in my life I've ever been early for. I was the only one in the restaurant, sitting there for half an hour. Nobody else came into the room. The next person that comes in the room was George Carlin. And he comes in this giant room where I'm sitting at this table, the only person there, and he makes a big show of looking for me. He's like, you know, and he fucking comes over to the table. And he goes, hey, George Carlin, nice to meet you. I said, oh my God, I'm a huge fan, dude, my whole life. My father gave me the records and stuff. And I saw you at Fairleigh Dickinson, I saw you at Caesars and stuff like that. And, you know, obviously I'm a big fan because I want you to be in this movie. And he's like, this movie? Yes, let's talk about this movie. He sits down, he points to the script, and he goes, I can't help but feel that I'm responsible for this movie. And I was like, yeah, a little bit, man. He goes, a little bit? There's some sections I believe I deserve co-author credit. I was like, yeah, man, you've definitely informed my worldview. And he said, all right, well, that's good to know. He's going, look, I love this. It fucks with the church, and I'm all for that. He said, but I got a bit of a problem. That's why I wanted to talk to you today. I was like, oh, okay, what's the problem? He goes, well, as you know, my wife just died. I said, yeah, I'm so sorry about that. You know, she was his world. She ran his business and stuff. So I was like, yeah, I'm very, very sorry. He goes, yeah, it's a bummer. He's going, but it's a long way of saying I don't want to take my wedding ring off. I still got my ring on, and I'm not ready to take it off. So as a problem in this movie, because I'm playing a member of the clergy, so, you know, I shouldn't be wearing a wedding ring, but I can't take it off yet. So I got a solution, if you'd like to hear it. I said, okay. He said, I was thinking I'd just wear a Band-Aid around this finger, man, my Band-Aid, so that when people in the movie saw Cardinal Blake, they'd just say, oh, he's got a Band-Aid on his finger, but really it'd be me covering up the wedding band. If I could do that, then I think I could be in your movie. What do you think? And I was like, I think I want you to be my father. That's so beautiful. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. You can wear as many Band-Aids as you want, man, of course. And he's like, okay, then I'm in. And he fucking, the thing about George, maybe most people don't know, is he loved acting, loved to act. More than he loved doing stand-up, he loved to act. That's what he wanted to be.